You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she average. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a top in it. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie, 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the D Podcast. It's your boy D.
It's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
This week we're going to touch on a topic that I saw off a Reddit thread that I thought was very interesting, and it is: do black scholars have any responsibility to something?
It's do black scholars have any responsibility to their community and educating that community?
Yep. And I feel like that's pretty multi-layer. I consider us scholars. I don't know what the hell scholar really means, but for me, shit, if a nigga went to college and graduated,
That's a low bar.
right? Shit, that nigga had some higher learning. Goddamn it!
I don't know, but we know plenty of people who have higher learning who are pretty dumb.
I swear to God, but I know people in higher positions that's dumb too. So,
I don't know. I feel like my definition of scholar is like someone who's educating themselves on a topic intensely, if that makes sense. So like you could be a scholar of anime.
I'm about to say you can be a scholar or anything.
Yeah, you can be a scholar of anything. I think I wouldn't consider myself like academic. Like I don't have a master's. I don't have a doctorate in African American studies or nothing like that. But I do go out my way to constantly try to learn stuff about my past and history, future. I try to educate myself so that I can bring a better product to you guys, and I'm informed and have statistics and all the other fun stuff to give to you. It's kind of my role here on this podcast. I'm the facts guy.
And I'm just the guy, goddamn it. But that is true because, like, I consider myself a Madden scholar. And it happened by accident. I've purchased every Madden since fucking 2009. I've been seriously playing since like 15. Like, I'm talking like I can tell you every glitch, every update, every thing to do, every patch from 15 to now. So, pretty well adept, best players, best cards, best of that. So I accidentally became a Madden scholar just because I wanted to be good at the damn game. Like, there was no ulterior motive. I wanted to beat niggas' asses.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But like, I consider myself a black scholar, a hood scholar. Like, and that's specific because it's like, some people will go to classes and watch videos on what does these gang signs mean? What does this mean? Why do they eat this? Why do they do that? When it comes to stuff that has directly impacted me, I know everything is meant to be black. I know why gangs were made. I know why gangs is now. I know this and that. I don't need a class. If you went to a class, it's nothing you can tell me because I know this shit. Like, now, other stuff that I was not accustomed to, like, anime, I can learn anime from people. Wasn't born and raised into anime, so there's something I can learn from other people. Hell, the people who make the damn thing. Like, I steadily find myself finding information from different great sources that is like, oh. Like, I'm talking like just constant influx of information too. Like, damn. I never even noticed that or thought of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when it comes to like black issues, I'm a scholar by every definition.
And I still look at other people's stuff like on black issues just so I can see it from a different perspective. Because maybe I haven't looked at it through that lens. Because even if we've had the same experiences, we didn't have the same. We weren't in the same positions. You know what I'm saying? So like, you might look at this way differently than I would have. You know what I'm saying? And like we said, anybody could be a scholar. You just have to dedicate yourself to the growth and understanding of a subject. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's kind of your job to give that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something that I that ideology, something that I use in work. I try to give all of my employees the same amount of knowledge that I have. If you want to learn, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm never gonna gatekeep information from you. Um,
I've always lived a life based off this one true thing. I'm never going to hold back anybody because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be dead. And what's the point of holding on to information and being a jackass about stuff when, like, just at the end of the day, what was the point?
mhm.
So, and I always want to, like, deep down, I want things to be better. I'm not trying to make things better because shit, I'm okay with getting mines and being up out of here. But deep down, I want things to be better. So if the information I have now can be passed down and refined a few times
Hmm.
and actually lead to the betterment of anything, I'm okay with it. Even if that's like 300 years removed, just the basis of what I said jump sparked X, Y, and Z, and I'm just okay with that. That's why it's like I don't downplay people from giving opinions or standing on things, even like if it's wrong or whatever, because there could be some component, something about that statements
Hmm.
that helps propels the issue forward, even in the slightest way.
Hmm.
So I just never understood why hoard information when that information could go on and do.
And I feel like when you're a scholar, and specifically a black scholar, you're not you're not appreciated by the masses until you die. And we've seen this with all our legendary you know um, scholars: Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the leader of the Black Panthers,
I was thinking of a saying
Huey. I know his last name's Huey.
Huey P. Newton.
Yeah. Um, you don't you don't really get the love. You might get it from your immediate community, but you don't get the masses love until you're either past your prime or you're in the ground. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think that's why a lot of like scholars in general don't have like a kind of a push off approach to it, because it's like no matter what I do, I'm not going to be appreciated for my work. I'm not going to be able to see my work be appreciated. So I think that's some of the reasons why somebody wouldn't want, like, would hoard knowledge or do whatever.
And I tell people this all the time. It's only so much shit that I expect for a person to take. Like Martin Luther King, a better man than me, because I would have been spitting back. Like it's just like you can go to hell. You can go to hell. Your wife can go to hell, and them children can go to hell. Like I don't
Sir,
care.
fuck you and the
Yeah,
horse you rode in on.
I just don't care. I don't care if there's bigger causes. It's only so much shit that people are willing to take. So to be ostracized, to be
Beaten and
treated a
bruised.
certain way,
Yeah.
beaten this or that, yeah, or even just today, constantly harassed, constantly mocked, made memes of, and I'm supposed to help y'all bastards, like let's be dead ass, like
I don't know, but I feel like memes.
I think when you get to a point where you're not taken seriously,
Yeah.
and people only look at you as a meme,
Yeah.
all right, cool, then I ain't fucking with y'all either. Then fuck y'all. Like I'm
But
not.
I feel like that's part of the game. It's part of the game.
And I'm okay with that game. But that's why I'm always been a. This is why I've always been huge on if you want to sell out, sell out. If you want to get yours and be gone, because so I'm supposed to stick with the part of the game where I get critiqued, beaten, made fun of. but I'm supposed to, turn down money because, we're still brothers at the end of the day. Fuck y'all. Y'all can go to hell. Bro, it doesn't, y'all can have that religion. Y'all can have that, time heals all wounds. And no, there's consequences to your actions. Now, if I don't punish you directly, I'm going to get mines and be gone. Michael Jordan, I do not hold Michael Jordan. I do not blame him for a single thing. Not one. Boy, if I had Michael Jordan money, I'd be doing Michael Jordan things too. I might give back, but I'd say I'm good. Let's just say I would. It's easier just to say I would.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to agree with you, but at the same time, I kind of agree.
Most people that's never been critiqued, it's always the ones, oh, it doesn't matter, this or that. I've been critiqued.
You've never done nothing impactful in your life. Like, I feel like people who say that have never been in the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? They've never been the person who's
being critiqued.
Yeah, like it's...
Oh, that shouldn't change the way you feel. You should always do the right thing, this or that. Damn near everywhere I go, people question everything that I do. All right, cool. Just know I'm keeping an active tally and scoreboard, and I'm going to get even. And that's how I feel about it. That's why I can tell, I guess in the end, is pushing society forward worth a wasted life? And not wasted like...
But who says it's wasted?
Wasted isn't it's not supremely happy.
But I think that ultimately comes down to the person, because you can find yourself happy in a situation where other people wouldn't find themselves happy. You know what I'm saying? I truly feel that Martin Luther King was happy with how his life was going.
When they were burning down his houses, hoping that his family was in there, but got lucky that they weren't. But
what I'm saying is that the path that he set himself on, he knew what the outcome was.
I think deep down there's still a huge resentment, especially towards for me, it hurts more because it's always portrayed as white people being the ones against him. But there was a whole bunch of black people who questioned him just as much and criticized him as much. Bro, I want equality for your black ass too. And you do this to me? It stings more, I think. For me, it would sting me more to see black people going out their way, setting me up, doing this or that, as opposed to a white guy. Because, shit, I know why you doing it, white guy. You wear that on your sleeve. Bro, there's no reason for you to backstab me, to literally backdoor me in any sense. And so, I think in the end, if there is a heaven, if there is the other side, him looking back now, seeing how far we progressed, is happy. He has supreme happiness, but I really will question how happy he was living, knowing that any day this could be it.
I don't know. I feel like, number one, it takes a very special person. You have to be a very special human being to be like, I'm willing to be a martyr. I'm willing to die for my cause. You know what I'm saying? Especially if that cause isn't you or your family. You know what I'm saying? You want to die for other people. It takes a very special kind of person. So I feel like when you're one of those people, I think you look at life just a little bit differently.
I hope. All you can do is hope, because it makes it better. Because our modern example is Kaepernick. I can only imagine how happy he is.
Yeah. Well, didn't he just get signed to...
I think he got signed to the Texans, Raiders, something.
I think it was Cleveland.
Not Cleveland.
No.
But it was something.
Yeah, he just got signed to somebody.
Seattle.
Is it Seattle?
I think so.
I can't remember. But I was really happy for him.
But either way, just all in the nutshell. And it was
yeah, but Kaepernick is the perfect example of he was willing to die on that hill.
And I'm appreciative of everything he's done. It took real guts to do that. But imagine this. Imagine you worked your whole life to do something. And you finally achieved it. And you're one of the best to do it. Not ever, but currently. Currently doing it. and it all gets snatched away from you. And it's like, we can keep it a buck. Kaepernick can't go work. Like, of course he has money, but it's like there is no going to work a 9 to 5. There is no going. He will actually get shafted at places because of who he is.
I feel like he could go work for like a black company. He can
Yeah.
get away with that.
I was about to say, like, if there's a white guy who, die hard American, drink Bud Light on the 4th of July, do this and that, so like, he's not hiring him under no circumstances. Like, once you see the name, and it's like, it's a lot knowing that it's. I can only imagine how happy it is knowing that it's actual open racism going on, and it's just being ignored. Like, through these years, this is not speculation. This is not innuendo. They are holding him out because he took a stand on black issues. That is it. Like, this isn't, this and that. And then they make a bullshit excuses. Well, his play was deteriorating, so he ended up completely out the league.
He couldn't have been someone's backup quarterback.
This and that, and it's like,
as many sorry quarterbacks that we've had.
Currently still have.
Yeah. And you're telling me that he could have been their backup.
Yeah. And like, you played sports, but directly from a football thing. And my career ended much sooner in Kaepernick, as y'all well may know. But it's like, when we lost that playoff game my senior year, I had no clue what the hell I wanted to do with my life from there. Like,
yeah, well, it's one of those things like when something consumes your life, like, you know, for me, I've never had dreams of wrestling at a collegiate level. Like, that was never, like, I wrestled because it was fun and I liked the competition and it was just a thing that I did. Mm-hmm. But I've never had dreams of being a collegiate athlete or a professional athlete. That just didn't get my rocks off. But when something like that consumes your life the way that, you know, for you to be a professional athlete, it has to.
And football is 24/7. Hell, I heard a rumor that Tom Brady and his wife is getting a divorce. I didn't even read the article. I know it's because he's continuing to play football. She's gone on record that she hates that he continually plays because it's so much time away from the family. It's so much like, it's basically like he's not there. So it's like, just to put that in, like, I did not read this article. And like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's for facts, but it would make sense to me that they are divorcing because she's like, this is on record. This is on wax. She hates that shit. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's glad that it makes him happy, but she wants for him to find happiness with his family. Yeah. And I make jokes about this. I'm going to circle back to Kaepernick. Brady retired for 2 months. And like, I've been making jokes like, damn, imagine how bad your family is when you sit with them for 2 months. Nah, bro, I gotta get back. But no, that's the dead honest truth of just like, this is really over? It could be over a year from now. It could be over. I never expected to play college ball, even when I was eating food in 9th or 10th grade. Senior year, my mom kept asking me, so what you going to do next? Cross the bridge when I get there. Cross the bridge when I get there. I expect to win state titles. I'm not thinking about nothing else. I am just, cross the bridge when I get there. Cross the bridge when I get there. Then when we lose prematurely, if we would have won the state title, I still would have felt the same way because I'm still not prepping for life after. I am just living in the moment, and I'm just, all right. And I have an ending. Like, there was a definite ending. Mm-hmm. On when I was going to stop playing football if we made states. Whenever the states was already scheduled ahead of time. So whatever fuck that was, that's the definite ending. So this ended prematurely for me. And I say it's kind of intertwined with Cap because there was no real red flag. There was no warning beforehand. It's just over. And so it was just like, well, fuck. And mine is significantly less because he went through college. He's been a pro for X amount of years, and it's like, it's one thing when your career is winding down, you suck, you start getting benched, and then you're not playing games anymore, but going from starting to just out, that's everything. Gone. Like, just boom. Like, and being a quarterback is not being like a D lineman or a halfback. I don't really think they do it for the money. Like, I don't think being rich really matters to Tom Brady. I'm not going to sit there, and that's why I like the guy.
Well, Tom Brady's money is pretty set in stone for the rest of his life. He
True.
doesn't have to work.
But that
Ever
guy,
again.
what made him like that, he just wanted to play. That motherfucker just wants to win games. The reason why he's damn 45, and to some people it's pathetic that he just keeps coming back.
Mhm.
Like, call it quits. It's just, what do I do for me? Basically, your life is over. Now, the real great ones find meaning
other
in life
things.
and other
Yeah.
things.
And that's the double-edged sword of being a scholar or a fanatic about something.
Mhm.
Is like when you let something consume your life completely like that, your identity gets attached to it, right? And
Mhm.
like once you lose that thing, it feels like your life is over. And me and my mom was talking about this because she was talking about how when she was getting out the military, when she was retiring, she had to go to like a counselor or whatever, because a lot of people, like when they finally retire, they killed themselves and stuff because like they've only been military for 20 something years of their lives, or longer. You know what I'm saying? So like
At this point, more than what they...
then they were out. You know what I'm saying? They probably went in when they were 18.
Mhm.
So like
Your whole, more than half your life has been doing this.
yeah, between 18 and 22, you probably joined.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are you doing with your like? This has been my life for so long. What am I going to do with my life outside of that? And they lose themselves in that. And I feel like that's kind of the same. It's the same thing. Like you can get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's a little bit more added caveat because, well, they've been playing football since, we assume, like since they were 6. And now they're 30. Tom Brady's 45. Tom Brady's probably been playing football. If you just take the seasons he's played football, he's probably had more seasons of playing football more than probably like a 17-year-old's been alive daily. Like just his football career from Little League till now is a whole lifespan. It's somebody's lifespan. So, like, when I look at that, it's telling to me that Kaepernick's still trying to make a comeback. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of pathetic. It's kind of pathetic because he knows he's not coming back. And I don't mean pathetic like I write him off, but it's like, I understand. Like, I know the feeling of like there's nothing else. He's willing to take pay cuts, do this or that. And it's just like, I understand what happens when you just can't find happiness
But
anymore.
I think also it's a little bit of the, how do you word it? It's like, I don't know how to word this. Make it make sense.
While you think of that, I'll go on to why he's even a little bit more pathetic. Why if Kaepernick was to make it back, the scrutiny that he would face, like basically he needs a Tom Brady career from when he comes back. Because any game they lose, any bad performance, any this or that.
Yeah, one bad game, it's over.
See, I told you, he kneeling and doing this, and like, I don't think opening yourself up to that is worth going back to play. But at the same time, that's all he wants to do.
But I mean, I think that's the problem with being a martyr. And I say problem in the best way possible. It's like, I could easily just be doing, like, Martin Luther King could have easily just been a pastor. Malcolm X could have easily, I actually don't know what Malcolm X was doing before.
I'm pretty certain we had a talk off screen. Yeah. Pretty sure we recorded it. I was like, most freedom fighters was practically jobless. Malcolm X was jobless. Malcolm X, maybe he was bagging groceries somewhere, but before he joined the Nation of Islam, he was in jail. So, like...
Very true.
He wasn't just like... His wife was putting in that work behind the scenes, because I don't know. Little fun fact, we discussed off screen, Martin Luther King was still pastoring during all this. Because, like, I thought he just gave it up. We gave it up when he became Martin Luther.
When he became Luther. Nah, he was still doing sermons.
But I guess you do seek a normal life. But
Yeah, because you have to have some semblance of normalcy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And when on Cap's side, like it's easy for me to still be a pastor in a certain sense and be a civil rights activist. Those two aren't mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Because you could always go to a black church and be fine.
and most of the skills are pretty interchangeable
Yeah.
too. Like,
But to be a quarterback and be a civil rights activist, there's certain people in positions of power who don't want you to do that.
yeah, and it's funny because it's like you can be an activist for every other thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were
if Cap was like, I'm a staunch gun rights activist, they would have no problems with him.
yeah, I'm a staunch breast cancer awareness activist.
No
I
problem.
think people get away with wearing pink outside of October now. Like there's no it's been shown that you can be an activist for anything else. But that damn civil rights, boy, that's too much politics. But I will bring up another person I don't think was happy towards their later end of their life. This person I don't believe was happy in the last 8 years of their life. Tupac Shakur. The more that I watch interviews and the more I see of him, I don't believe he was happy. I don't believe after he got arrested and shot, I think he got shot before he got arrested and went to jail the first time. From those moments on, I don't believe he had true happiness in his life. Of course, there was jokes. Of course, he was happy for a time, for brief little periods of time. Don't believe he was happy.
But I feel like with Tupac, it was the environment that he found himself in. Because like I think like Death Row and like the niggas he was hanging around with was not conducive to the person that he was. Because like it's hard to be on death row and also be an activist.
Well,
They're not. It's
let me pose this to you. Before he joined Death Row, there was nobody sticking up for him. They were quick to freeze him out, and he was an activist beforehand. If people stuck up for him then, he probably don't be Death Row. So
very true. That's true.
So
I can't even. I don't have a rebuttal to that.
How about say he chose Death Row because he was accepted there. And like when you know Tupac, it was like I'm pretty much a Tupac scholar because I've done full research. It's kind of weird that he joined them. Like completely, he was not this guy. I'm not saying that he's fake, but it's like this is not the persona that he wanted. This is not how he wanted to present himself. But when you have nothing, something is there, like gangs. The whole point, why do kids join gangs? When you have nothing, something feels good.
And I mean, and I think to circle back to the point of, do scholars have a responsibility to communities, specifically Black communities, as a Black scholar? Yes, you have to give people a sense of community and understanding, and that their issues and how they feel about things are valid. Because if the more voices that someone hears, like, hey, I understand why this happens, and historically this is why this happens. And when people understand that, they tend not to go down the wrong paths. They tend to make different decisions and move different ways. At least I move different ways.
I believe a scholar does not have a responsibility to the community. I believe a scholar has a responsibility to his people.
Well, I mean, when I say community, I mean our people.
No, I mean like the people who listen to me, people who accept me. I have a responsibility to them. You do not have a responsibility to the people that are shunning you away, to the people that ridicule you. You do not have a responsibility for that. I get what you're saying. Like both is kind of mutual.
What I was saying was just to spread your knowledge and give people the opportunity to listen to you. I can't force you to listen.
Okay.
So we are agreeing on that.
Yeah, I was about to say, you have a responsibility to your people. I want to bring up Dr. Umar, and like he's another living example of a martyr for his cause, and he is as Marcus Garvey's gonna get in the 2000s. I did not study extensively Marcus Garvey. Shit, he's probably a little bit more overboard than what he is. But Dr. Umar puts on for the people that watch him daily, and he knows that it's only a minute people. But those are his people, and those are the ones he's here to please. He's not here to please black people who don't side with him. He's not here to please white people. He's here to please the people that listens to him. And, well, the following is growing huge, but it's like, I guess that's his responsibility. Like he can't look after every black issue now because, well, let's frankly say, black people don't want to do X or want Y to be fixed. Sometimes you got to go a little overboard. Sometimes you need to go a little Umar, Dr. Umar. Not every time, but sometimes when you want something fixed, you got to go a little overboard. It still amazes me that people are concerned about how do you fix racism. Bro, I told you the motherfucker was racist. Look at him. He's done. He's done did racist shit to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 niggas, and it's only damn June. Like, the damn proof is in the pudding.
Very true. And it's like, so I think Dr. Umar gets a lot of pushback because as a people, we're used to navigating white spaces from the okay, let me not upset people perspective. You know what I'm saying? Let me not do this perspective. So I have to move in a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go full out militant. But Dr. Umar says, "Fuck that! I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna call a duck," and then that motherfucker quack. Affleck, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I think that's where Dr. Umar and like especially the older generation of people, because there's another person that I like, Roland Martin.
I don't listen to him much, but yeah.
I watch his stuff occasionally, and like I like Roland Martin because him and Dr. Umar are actually very alike in the sense of like they just say what they fucking want to say, and like, but they don't get along. They actively have a beef.
That's typically how it goes. Fun fact: I came up with this theory at work. How people say two of the same people don't get along. False. Two extroverts don't get along. Two introverts become best friends when they're exactly the same. But
me and you.
All my introvert friends like exactly what I like. So a little something. Yeah, makes sense. Some niggas are extroverts. That's the reason why they don't.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. But yeah, like they have like active beef going back to, I don't know, Roland Martin had a show back at like 10 years ago on like Century. Wait,
not that. Well, keep that thought. Dr. Umar was talking about somebody. This was a random clip of Dr. Umar's when he was like, what you say, you been on the scene before I pop? Nigga, I've been putting in work long before you knew me. It's just that when niggas wouldn't put me on, because they know when I was on, I pop. And look what I did over fucking night. And so like he's talking to somebody directly, but I don't know who he's talking about. But now that you say that this beef extended to this long.
Like 10 years back. And but Dr. Umar got on the show and they were having like a, you ever watch news, like the talking heads, and they're all like giving their opinions. And it's kind of like two people against Dr. Umar.
Yeah.
And Dr. Umar starts calling them coons. And Roland Martin was not having it. He was like, "Hey, you're not gonna go on my show calling nobody." on my show, calling people coons, this and that, and then after that, they have had an active beef.
It's go time. It's a war. I didn't know about this, but that clip literally lines up perfectly well because I'm pretty sure Roland Martin has been famous for a while.
He's been like I was saying, he's kind of from the old school of civil rights movement, not super old school. Like he's like in between. He's that middle class of like the old school and like current, like Dr. Umar kind of movement.
And Dr. Umar blew up recently-esque. So it's like
within the last 10 years.
Yeah. So
I'm telling you, that clip is one thing that blew him up.
And I am selling like now, I'm gonna show you off screen, like just his literally 15 seconds. It's like, damn, what are you talking about?
Roland Martin.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. But and like both of their ideologies and approaches kind of align. Now, Dr. Umar is definitely more militant and extreme than Roland Martin is. Roland Martin preaches more of the we can push against the system aggressively, but we also can play the game. And Dr. Umar just says fuck the game.
I tell people, I don't know if it's because I'm getting more into madness or just the older I get. It's like 5 to 10 years ago. Man, that nigga Dr. Umar crazy as a bitch, man. He might actually need some damn psych experiments done. But like recently, like within the past 2 or 3 years, I'll hear something. I would like to admit that I have never been 100% on his side, but I've been there's. And this is why it's important to listen to every perspective in a conversation, because even in a perspective that's wrong, it can be objectively wrong, but they can have points that are like, oh well, I can see where you're coming from, and I can see why you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I can see why you think that way in your wrongness.
Because like there's this one controversial clip with Dr. Umar, which I 100% agree. I've thought about this 15 years ago, but he re-unlocked my thought. But it was like he was at a university. Don't know why universities keep getting them. This be their fault. But he was talking about niggas on the block, and he was like,
he might have put some of the niggas in the dirt. I feel like little Ray down.
I cannot philosophize all them on the corner. Some of them are going to sleep for good. It's so fucked up, but it's so true.
It's true.
That is. I saw that it's 100% true. There's mothers in there like talking about my son. Your son is the ones that he's talking about. Like there's some niggas that are just not long for this world. Like that's just a guarantee.
I think that was at a church. I don't think that was at a university.
I know he was suited up there.
I think that was at a church. Because I remember that clip. It is hilarious. And it's only funny because of how he said it.
Because like the one thing about, I think, if he wants to take his game up to the next level, he just needs to go to like some type of speech classes or his public speaking classes. Like, don't take away your message or the words. You just need to know when to emphasize. When not to do it, because it was like I'm just listening. It was like something I can't philosophize, and then shit.
That's the funniest part. But I know we weren't gonna take this politically, but it's the same thing with like Trump voters, right? There's some Trump voters that you can talk and be like, hey, this and that, and then like they're reasonable and they'll listen to your points. And there's some people who are just too far gone. That goes for the drug dealers on the corner. Some of the niggas gonna be street niggas for the rest of their lives.
And they don't.
You can't save them niggas.
They don't have any aspirations besides being street niggas and dying.
All they want to do is sell drugs and shoot guns. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.